laps of what are called straights and curves. Straights and curves are where you jog the straight and you walk the curve. And you're gonna start out jogging the straight at a pace you would race at for about 1 mile. Not super fast, not super crazy, just jog. And then each one you're gonna increase until you get to your last one, which is gonna be at a pace you would race at for about 400 to 600 meters. So a lot faster. So this may be like 80% to 85% of your max speed on the last one. Just working on running faster, having good turnover, staying up tall, and getting your hands cheek to cheek. Then you're gonna get into what's called dynamic warm-ups. I don't like doing static stretching before you run unless you have to do it. So static stretching is where you're just like standing there and stretching your arm, or bending down and stretching your leg, or pulling your leg back, stretching your quad. Dynamic warm-ups are like doing A skips, B skips, C skips, Russian kicks, kickbacks, shoulder rotations. Anything that warms up your shoulders to your chest to your legs and your hips is going to be the best thing to do. So start warming up your body and do 10 to 15 minutes of dynamic warming up. I would recommend doing A skips, B skips, and C skips, and then finding any other warm-ups that warm up your hamstrings, your quads, your calves, your ankles, and maybe your glutes and hips. And then find something that warms up your shoulders, and do all those different type of warm-ups throughout the 10 to 15 minutes. And then you're gonna get into your workouts. And there are 3 different types of workouts that I'm gonna recommend. There's top end speed, which you're gonna do once a week. There's endurance, which you can do 1 to 2 times a week. And there's block starts with running form, which is gonna be 1 to 2 times per week. So for top end speed, this is the workout I'm gonna recommend you do. Go to the start line of the 100. Grab some cones. I want you to grab 4 cones. You're gonna step 20 yards, 20 meters, 20 yards, doesn't have to be precise, out, and you're gonna set a cone down. Then you're gonna step another 40, put another cone down, and then step another 20 and put another cone down. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a jog, sprint, jog. So you guys are all gonna jog, 8 of you in your lanes, all gonna jog to the cone together, and then you're gonna sprint full speed, as fast as you can, and then slow down and jog to the next cone. So you're just slowing down. You're not just stopping abruptly, you're slowing down. So you're gonna slow down. You're gonna do 4 of these with a 5 to 8 minute rest. I say 4 to 8 minutes of rest, but just take 5 minutes and that's perfect. Then you're gonna do 3 80-meter sprints. So find, about what 80 meters is. Doesn't have to be exactly 80 meters, but just count about 80 yards, 80 steps, 80 strides, whatever you walk, take 80 steps. Do that, and you're gonna run 3 of these with a 5-minute rest. Full sprint speed, and you can also put blocks down when you do these. When you do the jog, sprint, jog, don't use blocks. But for the 80 meters, you could use blocks on these if you'd like. Then you're gonna be doing 2 100 meters at full speed with blocks if you'd like. And you're gonna be taking a 5 to 8 minute rest. Or 4 to 8 minutes, just take 5 minutes and you'll be perfectly fine. I want you to go full speed on these. Then you're done. Obviously there's a cool down, which I'll talk about later, but the workout part, you're done. The endurance day, you're gonna be doing 6 by 200s. You're gonna start out doing the first one a little bit slower, something you might race at for a 600, and then build up to running your last one, your fastest one. And you're gonna do a 200-meter walking recovery. So you're gonna sprint 200 meters at like a pace you'd race at for 600 to 400 meters. Then you're gonna walk 200, which will take you at most 3 minutes, and at fastest, if you're speed walking, it's gonna take you 2 minutes, and then you're gonna sprint again. So it'll take about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's about how long it'll take you to walk, and then you're gonna go and you're gonna sprint again, walk, sprint again, and you're gonna do 6 of these. That's gonna be your endurance day. Okay, you're gonna be doing 6 of these. Work on endurance. Then you're gonna be having a block day where you work on blocks. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 6 times 30-meter block starts. 6 times 30 meters. If you're more advanced, do 8. 8 times 30-meter block starts. You're literally just working on your form, having someone record. You're taking long rests as well, so take that 4 to 8 minute rest between these block starts so you can really have full power out of the blocks. You're working on your running form, and then you're going to go and you're going to do 4 by 150s at 400-meter pace, just working on running form and mechanics and breathing and all that different stuff. That's what you're gonna be doing for those. And that's it. You could do the endurance twice a week. You could do the block starts twice a week, and then you do the top end speed once a week at most. That's it. So 1 to 2 times a week for endurance, 1 to 2 times for blocks, and 1 for top end speed. Then you have your cool down. Now I know a lot of people hate cool downs, and you know, the coaches always say, jog your cool down, jog your cool down. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of jogging your cool down unless you're in really good shape. If you're a guy who runs the mile and the 800 and the 2 mile or the 5K and the 10K and you're in really good shape, you should definitely be jogging your cool downs because you're so fast that your heart rate's gonna lower as you jog. But for me, I'm not in great shape right now. I run my interval sessions, which is 4 by 4 minutes with a 4-minute rest at a 7:30 mile. So when I go and run my easy runs, I'm running at 11 to 12 minute mile. And so running at a 13-minute mile or a 12-minute mile is not gonna lower my heart rate because my heart rate already stays at about a 135 heart rate when running a 12-minute mile. So me going really slow is not going to lower my heart rate down to that 115, 120 that I want to lower it to. So I would have to walk to do that. But I don't have to walk super slow. I can speed walk. So speed walk at like a 17-minute mile, a 16-minute mile, like a 4-minute lap. Speed walk something a little bit faster where heart rate's still going down slowly but not super fast, and it's going down while you're still moving your body and getting blood flow through your body, so you're not just abruptly stopping. Because if you get in a car and you slam on the brake, that's not going to be good for the brakes. But if you slow down, even if you slow down fast but slow down and you let your car slow down, then what's going to happen is it's going to save the brakes and it's going to save your body. So you want to do that same thing when you're cooling down. So you want to cool down the body by doing something. And so when you cool down, you want to do 5 to 10 minutes of cool down. 5 to 10 minutes. That's all you need. Obviously for distance runners, I might recommend doing up to 20-30 minutes. If you're like an elite distance runner and you need to build extra mileage, I might do 20 minutes or so. But for just a sprinter, 5 minutes. Do 5 minutes. Walk 1.5 to 2 laps at like a decent pace, like an 18 to 15 minute mile pace where you're walking pretty fast, where your heart rate's still kind of staying at that 120, 115, and you're good. And that's it. And you're done. And that's how you train. And then you obviously go into the gym and do gym stuff, and I'll make other videos on gym stuff, but that's how you train. Those are the 3 different types of trainings you should do. You should always do your warm-ups. Remember, you're doing the straights and curves 3 laps. You're doing 10 to 15 minutes of dynamic warm-ups. You're doing a top-end speed day, an endurance day, and a block/form day, and then you're doing that 5 to 10 minute cool down walking, and you're perfect. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please click that subscribe button and check out this video over here because YouTube thinks you're gonna like it.